Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we are going to start installing backsplashes in the kitchen and the bathrooms. So it is time to jump into the kitchen backsplash. So let me give you a look at what I'm going with here. So we are going with this tile for the backsplash. Now I did this for some particular reasons, most of which is just going to be ease of install. So I was willing to pay a little bit more money to go with a sheet tile like this, which is groutless. So there's the joints butt up nice and tight with each other. And they're also peel and stick tile. So on the back of every tile, there's just a giant sheet sticker, which I should be able to just pull the sticker off and stick it up to the wall. So I'm gonna start by putting the backsplash over here on this west wall underneath the cabinets all the way around here. So the first thing that I did was I stacked a couple sheets of tile together. So I was measuring across 6 tiles. So measuring across 6 tiles, it turns out that these tiles have an average width of about 3 and what I wrote down, 3 and 15/16. So it was 3 and 15/16 each. And then I measured the width of this side all the way from here to the far wall, and it was 137 and 7/8. So when I divided 137 and 7/8 by that 3 and 15/16, I got that my wall is 35.0158. So what does that tell me? 35.0 means that it's exactly 35 tiles wide, which is incredible for me, right? So now that means I can start by putting this first sheet up nice and tight against these cabinets, and I'll have to go through and cut half tiles on either side, but that means that when I get to the other side, it's gonna end on a full tile and half tiles again. So that's the easiest thing that I could have hoped for. It's gonna make installing this quite simple, I do believe. So my gaps weren't just exactly perfect. So where I ended up, I just barely didn't have enough room in order to fit these last kind of 4 tiles up tight to the wall. So I'll point at them with a measuring tape here. So this tile right here, this one, and this one, they just barely wouldn't fit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all the tile hung that I can, that I don't have to cut with a tile saw before I borrow my dad's tile saw. So I'm trying to get everything ready so that I just can borrow my dad's tile saw and it'll just be nothing but cutting little pieces to fill in the gaps. So I'm trying to do everything I can without a tile saw. So to get these to fit nice and tight with the wall, I just barely sanded off anywhere from an 1/8 inch to 3/16 off with a orbital sander, just enough to get them to fit. And now I got this next piece of tile right here that's gonna butt up into this corner. And what I did is I sanded maybe 3/16 off of this top tile here, maybe 3/32, 1/8 inch off of this tile, and nothing off of this tile to get it all to square up into the gap because my wall is not perfectly square. So now, when I go in here and I set this up, it's gonna look something like that. And the gap will be nice and tight in that corner. And if it looks good in the end, hopefully I won't have to put silicone in it, but if I have to, I can always put a bead of white silicone and it'll just disappear. I have every tile that is not cut installed now. So every whole tile has been put up and you can see I've just left out the tile that will need to be cut to be installed. So we just have the chunks that are around the outlets, and then in the corners where the tiles meet, and the same thing kind of wrapping around these pillars here. So I want to show you another little something that I'm doing. I've looked at different ways what I thought would be the best to do these kind of outside and inside corners. And what I'm going to do is instead of having a continuous line, so for instance, bring in all of these side tiles out flush, or having all these front tiles cover up those side tiles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the corners kind of interwoven like this. So you have one tile from one row that sticks out past from this way, and then the next one down does the same sort of thing. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep there from being a continuous line that goes all the way down these corners on either side. So on either side, it'll end up being kind of woven like that. I'm going to do the exact same thing for these back corners. So for instance, this row and this row and this row go all the way back to the wall, but on this opposite side, the other side. So this one will go all the way back to the wall, that one will go all the way back to the wall. So they'll be kind of interwoven like that in all the inside and the outside corners. And I think that'll be a nice clean finish. Now, I haven't done it yet, but what I have here is we have this kind of herringbone style tile, and this is what's going to be in the or above the sink, and it's actually going to fill this entire square. So it's going to go all the way up to the lights, and that's what's going to be installed. But unfortunately, this stuff is not quite as easy because it does not have the glue or the sticker already on the back. So it just has the normal kind of mesh. It's still a groutless tile, but it doesn't have any sticker on the back. So I have these giant sheet stickers, which I will cut up and install to fit that entire opening, which we'll then slap those tiles up against. So that's kind of the next big step into the kitchen. But while I am moving kind of along with this type of tile right here, this, I don't know what you call it, brick pattern style tile, I think I'm going to jump over and do the vanities in the bathrooms. So we're going to start here in the hall bathroom, and I am getting pretty lucky with this. I got a little tick mark you can barely see right there. That is where 3 full sheets of tile will end. So it may stick just a hair past this. I'm going to try and do 3 full sheets. If not, I may have to just pull 1 tile off the edge of each sheet. But we're going to start here where the mirror is hung in the hall bathroom. So here is the hall vanity backsplash, all the hole tiles done. So the only thing left on this would be cut tiles once again. On this particular edge right here, where it kind of ends at the wall, I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut half tiles, and we'll try and rig up a jig that'll put a bevel on those half tiles. But this one edge should be the only place in the house where that is necessary. So when we cut the half tiles here, we'll try and bevel them to give it a nice finished end. But other than that, everything else should just be straight cut pieces. Just like in the kitchen, the spat corner seam is kind of that woven together, alternating which one or which tile goes behind which tile. I want to stop and give you a quick little bit of information about this product that I'm using. So this is the peel and stick backsplash tile groutless backsplash tile that I'm going with, and they're both supposed to be the same brand. So unfortunately, when I ordered it, they didn't have enough for us to use the exact same color throughout the entire house. So I got two slightly different colors. We got this Daphne white, which is what we're using. You can see the brand and stuff here. It's made by Doll Tile. This Daphne white is what we used in the kitchen because it's what matches the herringbone pattern that's going to go behind the sink. But they didn't have enough Daphne white for the entire house, so I bought a different color. I can't remember what it was. It was like fall mist or something. And the other color that we're using in the bathrooms came in these unmarked white boxes, so you can kind of see. Well, I'm sorry, never mind. That's the herringbone tile for the backsplash. The bathroom stuff also came in these kind of unmarked white boxes, and it can say that the color is Stormy Mist. Stormy Mist. So forgive all the stuff on the counters, but this is the Daphne white that we used in the kitchen, and I'm just going to show this to you for a quick comparison. So this is the color that we chose, and I got Daphne white, but for that herringbone that will go behind the sink. And then this is the Stormy Mist. So what I'm getting up to, or I was building up to with all this, something I wanted to point out, I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be the same brand, but I'm assuming that the Stormy Mist, the different color, I don't know if it's made by a different manufacturer or something, but it is just harder to do. It is a lower quality sheet is what it looks like. They just do not fit together as well as the other type. And on top of that, let's see if I can find some, there's a lot of sheets that have chipped corners in them. So for instance here, right up there, you see there's a lot of sheet. I don't want to throw the entire sheet away, so maybe I'll cut that one tile out here in a second. But I see that in probably half the sheets that they have these chipped corners. And the other thing I don't like about this color is, for whatever reason, whereas the stuff that we used in the kitchen, the adhesive backing was white, so it would kind of disappear from the cracks. But for this one, the Stormy Mist color, the adhesive backing is black, so that anywhere that you don't have a nice tight gap, I mean, there's black behind it, so it really pops, which I have no idea why they did that. I really don't like that. And then the other thing that I've been noticing about this other sheet tile is that it has lots of patch pieces. So when they make the tile, there'll be a broken tile on the sheet or something, and so they'll pull it out and they'll slap another one in and to kind of fill that gap. But here, the adhesive backing isn't all connected. So when you put this sheet up, this particular piece doesn't want to play nice with all the other pieces. So I'm really struggling with this Stormy Mist color to make the seams as tight as they are in the kitchen. It doesn't really show up that clearly on camera, but in person, the seams are just worse, and it's just a lower quality sheet. So my advice to you, if you're going to do the same sort of thing, maybe try and pick all that other color. But for whatever reason, this color, like I said, supposed to be the same manufacturer, but this particular color is just worse than what we used in the kitchen. So just like everywhere else, here is what it looks like with all of the tiles that do not need to be cut. So this is Kelly's vanity. Yep, the mirror is a little bit tilted, but I'm going to tweak on that when I have to cut out the tiles that go around the mounting screws. But there's Kelly's vanity, and then we can go around, and then there's my vanity on the opposite wall. So both these vanities in both bathrooms are now done. and we are ready to get the tile saw out here and start cutting all of these finish pieces that will wrap around all of the edges. Well, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned, and I will catch you on the next one.